dark and exploitation movie from Vinegar Syndrome. Deadline is a movie I'd never heard a thing about. The cover art didn't really enthuse me, as cool as it was with this wrap-round sort of glasses with horror in them. I just didn't know what the movie had in store for me. And sometimes that's the best way to go into these things. This one is a Canadian movie all about a writer called Stephen who I think is a screenwriter throughout it. That's the idea I get. He wrote a lot of horror movies. They are something that he revels in and something that he does really well in. I think he's a novelist as well. Kind of around the sort of Dean Koontz kind of idea. And he has 3 kids and a wife who he doesn't really interact with. He's kind of locked himself away and just concentrates on his work. It's his passion, it's what he loves, and everything else is kind of sidelined. And this is a really strange movie because at the heart of it, it's the breakdown of the family unit. It's the breakdown of a marriage. It's coming to terms with realising that you've never been there for your kids. You weren't part of their growing up. You kind of sidelined them for something that may not have been as fulfilling or as rewarding as raising a child, but it's wrapped in this really strange horror movie. The actual story itself has more about the horror of realising what you have let fall away from your hands with his wife, his love, his relationship, all that. But because he is a horror writer, because his ideas have been turned into movies, we have moments where it cuts away to horrible scenes from these movies, and it is weird, strange. It doesn't have to be connected to what he's thinking or doing within the story. It's just a momentary lapse as the horror seeps into his everyday life, and it is really effective. I've seen things in here that must have been influences on some other movies, particularly Sinister. There is a scene of a family hanging that is very reminiscent of that kind of movie. A little bit of The Witch in here as well, with the goat as well. It's one of these really weird movies that at first deals with characters and their struggle first and foremost, and adds in the horror afterwards. And that is just a wonderful thing to do. This is one of these stories that I really enjoyed. I liked the character of Stephen to start off with. I liked his dedication to his work. I understood what he was doing and could really see the negative impact it was having on his family. And it gets to a really strong head later on as the real breakdown kicks in. Everything turns to crap for him, and it really takes an effect on his psyche, on his work. And it's terrifically played out. And it's a great idea the way they do this, the way they execute it, by having a real story interspersed with horrific events that he has created in his mind. These kind of horrible traumatic events that took time away from his family. There's fantastic standout sequences within this movie of both just the regular world and his fantasy movie life. You get to see some wonderful practical effects in the form of a harvester tearing somebody apart. We get to see weird nuns involving a strange cult cut open a man's chest and pull out some of the organs. You get to see the family hanging that I've mentioned, and plenty of others. It really does keep you on your toes with the gore. One of the weirdest ones was probably the bathtub full of blood, which was such a visceral image as well. And it all comes back to haunt our character of Stephen later on. And there is this level of toxicity throughout his life, whether it be his agent, the way his wife does treat him, which forces him to retreat a little bit, but it's one of those, his retreat may have caused her to become bitter, and her added bitterness causes him to retreat more. What happens to the kids as well is a little bit shocking, a little bit unusual, what you wouldn't have expected, and shows the effect that he has on the world. It feels like a movie that is very condemning of horror while still being within the horror genre. It's pointing it down to say that this stuff can be damaging to people, creators, and the people who view it, who engage it. And it's strange because it is that at the same time while commenting on that. I thought Deadline was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I want to go back and check this one out again because I feel it's got a lot to say about horror and its effect on the world and its creators. I thought it was a great story, and if you haven't seen it, I wholeheartedly recommend this one. Utterly brilliant, very different from the kind of thing that I'd seen before, totally unique in the way it goes about its storytelling. Highly recommended. Have you seen Deadline? I'd love to know your thoughts on the movie. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.